What is going on to you Geminis out here? So you Geminis actually gave me the most views. So I'm going to go ahead and give you your first video out of the 12. Uh, it was a close race. I ain't even going to lie. The zodiac signs, y'all wanted it badly to be the first one. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I tried to make it random by doing that. But that way everyone has a chance, a 1 in 12 chance to pretty much get done what they need to get done. But anyway, so for you Geminis, right, you have the High Priestess, the Queen of Michael, and then you Geminis have the Ace of Gabriel. This is one of my favorite decks of all time. It's very rarely do I ever really get a chance to. Most tarot decks I don't really like. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really like. Like the Halloween one for a little while, ended up not liking it. But so for you Geminis, right, you have the High Priestess, which is interesting. Queen of Michael, Ace of Gabriel. Okay. So it speaks to duality, which is duality is a Gemini thing. But the High Priestess doesn't represent uh, Gemini. It represents Taurus and Virgo put together. So, but it still does represent duality, and it represents your duality, the duality of the situation, where you Geminis want love, but and you are inviting, but that's the duality. You're inviting and you want love, but at the same time, only a few people can actually get close to you for an extended period of time. So it's the irony of the whole thing, where it's like only a few people could get close, but at the same time, right, the other way around, you're open to receiving love and giving it. And then you have the perspective, you have the perspective and the Two of Gabriel. The perspective and the Two of Gabriel represents how, and see, this is why it is that you Geminis probably don't date as much as you used to back in the day, or as much as you could, because most people are, most people are not going to be able to actually keep up with you. They only want the Netflix and chill type of relationship, but the actual getting better and going places and doing things with a person, all of that is relationships, is baked into a relationship too. And they're not really going to be ready to do that. They're not really willing to actually do that in the first place. And see, a lot of you Geminis now feel like you have to sit back to a certain extent and pay attention to that there are a lot of factors that will stop a person from hanging out with you, simply because you're different, in that sense. And you'll know that you're different because the way that people treat you. People will treat you like you're the devil. A lot of people will treat you like that. A lot of other people will listen to what it is that you have to say, and they know that what it is that you're saying is the truth because you have a history of being able to tell the truth. You see what I'm saying? So it really just depends on whom it is that is around you, but make no mistake about it, and to be realistic about it, you will attract more people who are afraid of you and who have problems with you, more than you will attract people who actually hear what it is that you're saying to them. But the people who hear what it is that you're saying to them will appreciate you, obviously, way more than the people who want to act like, you're the devil and all this other type of stuff. You know? And this is the thing that a lot of people can't really understand, right? It's not about cursing people with hexes and voodoo and spells and all this other type of stuff. That's not what this thing is about. That's what this thing is about for magicians who are hurt and who are looking to, unfortunately, spiritually hurt other people. But higher magic, right? Because there's a such thing as lower magic and higher magic, or low magic, high magic, right? Right? What most people will consider high magic to be is actually flipped, right? People think that, studying the demonology or whatnot is high magic. No, it's actually low. And that, because the thing about magic and tarot and spirituality is really more so about upgrading yourself and not about looking to hex other people. Because you can't do both. You will have to pick between one and the other. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because you Geminis upgrading yourself, making yourself better. And it's making things kind of hard for you Geminis to actually date, because most people, their progress is either too slow or they're not making progress. They're sliding backwards. And see, the thing is that the King of Raphael chariot and the 10 of Michael speaks to how, again, you Geminis, right? You see this because the King of Raphael is about you being in control of your emotions. And to see that, not really looking to actually be in a relationship, right, with anyone, because you have to get to know them first. So you're not living with anybody. You're not overcommitting. You're not saying anything too wild or outrageous. You're more so getting to know people. And that's my dog down there. You're more so getting to know people. And you come to find out really quickly that they're not really built to be around you for extended amounts of time, because they don't last. The chariot, the 10 of Michael, the chariot is about one's own progress, and especially in this one. But the chariot is also about being able, you Geminis, being able to kind of see if the relationships, the connections that you have built can actually withstand the test of time. And this is what I mean when I say that most people are not built for it. Because when it comes to actually going through things, the good things and the bad things, right? As long as the trust between y'all isn't ruined and all of that. It is what it is. The trust isn't ruined and all of that. Then what it means is that you should be able to go through something with somebody, right? Especially someone that you're dating romantically. And once again, totally different class. A lot of times people will think that, when you get to a certain spiritual level, they think that you out here putting hexes on the Most High, you putting hexes on God and all that. That's not. Completely dropped the ball and missed the mark. Again, that's some magicians who take it that way. What it's about is understanding that the Most High is in you. It's even written in your books. Chapter John, is it not written that ye are gods? And this word cannot be broken for anything or anyone. But what it is it's about you Geminis getting to a point, and then you realizing that it's not valuable to worship anything or anyone. Why? Because number one, there is nothing to worship except yourself. because you got here off of the strength off your own back. This is the thing that a lot of people can't grasp. They call it being humble, but you could be humble and still have that mentality, you know? Not only that, but also it's no use in worshiping anything because you got so many false prophets out here. In other words, people that try to make it seem like they got the juice, they got the special sauce, right? They figured something out that a lot of people haven't, and that everybody needs to hurry up and run to them. But then they use the said people that they once gave inspiration to as a means of food to come up, to get rich. Oh, and thankfully, that's not what I'm doing here. But the point that I'm trying to make here with that is, so you Geminis understand what's going on. Like, a lot of people only putting out their representatives. And see, the Page of Gabriel and the Seven of Michael speaks to how, you're not putting out your representative. That's who you actually are. There's no need to have a representative because you're just your true self at this point, or a truer element of yourself. When I say that true self, but again, this is what I mean when, and I want you Geminis to actually have a person that gets you and wants to hang around you. But it's like most people, again, they're operating from here and down, which is the realm of the animal. They haven't gotten towards being able to cross over through the abyss to Bina, to Chokma, and then automatically you get the crown, right? You can rule from here or you could rule from here, but if you rule from here, it's only short-lived, right? Because Kether represents the crown. So you could either rule in harshness or you can rule in wisdom. If you rule from here, short-lived. Rule from wisdom, long-lived. It's up to you. But what I'm trying to say is most people haven't even gotten to Bina, Chokma yet. They want all of this stuff when it comes to relationships, but then it's like you can't trust them. And then they run to the internet because they love the fame so much, but they're ruining their relationships with people for their entire life because people are going to see how goofy they sound. And see, a lot of you Geminis don't want to be that type of individual. Y'all are actually looking for somebody, right? But you understand that you Geminis can't get got. You can't afford to have people constantly constantly getting you, right? Constantly getting you in a messed up situation where it's like, oh, they're hanging around you only to get something. I don't think you Geminis want that. And see, a lot of you Geminis, like I said, you got to get to know the person's character first. So let's clarify the chariot. Let's clarify the chariot. You have the Magician, Fool card, Four of Pentacles. You have the Knight of Cups, and then you have the Ten of Cups to clarify the Chariot, right? So it represents the progression of said relationship in this reading. So the Magician and the Fool card right here, right? It represents how you Geminis always feel like you're in a relationship by yourself because you're the only one that's doing the work. The other person, the would-be potential significant other, they're not doing the work. And see, the Fool card represents, and this is why it is that you end up having to leave them. This is why it results in you deciding to bounce. The Four of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. And then you had to learn to also stick to your decision to actually leave them alone, because you Geminis will go back to some people and then it would turn out to be the same, to be the same stuff in the first place. But now the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Cups represents, but now it's almost like you're becoming a lot more comfortable being by yourself. Once again, the duality of it. This reading is about duality, right? The High Priestess, the duality of it. The fact that you Geminis, right? And Gemini rules duality. Look at that. How ironic. Coincidence? No, but it's not a coincidence. But Gemini, right, rules over duality, and then you get the major arcana that represents duality, the High Priestess, because it represents how you Geminis will be open to meet other people romantically and get to know people because you want a significant other. And you Geminis probably will admit it that you want somebody else. But at the same time, it's this catch-22 where it's like, yeah, you may want somebody else, but again, it's like those animes, right? Where it's like only a few people are actually there or that powerful. You understand what I'm saying? That's in that club. The majority of the vast majority, it's like forget about it. They're nowhere, they're not even on the same planet when it comes to you and progression and power and influence. So it puts you at a point like you're lonely. You're alone because it's like, who's going to understand what it is that what you on? Your ability, right? People say that there's 5 senses. There are actually 6 senses. All the 5 senses that y'all are normally accustomed to hearing. And then there is also perception. Science has, I'm gonna drop the science, but science has found that there are actually 6 senses, not 5. So your perception, right? This is why it's a good thing to open your mind up. Your perception, which is the 6th sense, is so much greater than what other people can perceive. It's like it puts you in a different perspective and it makes you alone. And that kind of loneliness or that kind of solitude is what it is that you Geminis honestly are going to have to become accustomed to. You Geminis are not accustomed to that. You're accustomed to having fun and being the social butterfly and all of that. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you Geminis also are going to have to become accustomed to the other side. What happens when you're too influential? What happens when you're too powerful and too serious in your studies? You get what I'm saying? You become something and someone else. That's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. We're coming up on 19. Listen, we're coming up, okay, on 20,000 very quickly. We're on 19,000, coming up on 20,000 very quickly. Appreciate it if you would subscribe, all of that good stuff. Come through and get a personal reading. That will keep the channel going. It'll help me out. It'll help you out too. If you need any kind of help with anything, feel free to contact me. I'll go ahead and help you out. Peace.